Welcome to the Hot Seat, powered by Affordable Staff. David Judge here, and we are at Season 1, Episode 4 of the Hot Seat, where we talk to industry influencers that have worked hands-on in the real estate industry. We find out where these influencers see current and future trends within the industry and what you can do about it to grow and support your business. There are 9 episodes in the first season, and each episode is released every second Tuesday, guaranteed. Today, we are talking to Kelley Seaton from the Leasing Network, who started in the industry 23 years ago as a receptionist. Kelley has extensive experience in the industry, operating a property management agency across multiple states before moving to the Central Coast, where they currently run the Leasing Network. Now, Kelley also speaks regularly at different events, including the PPM conference, which is where we actually interviewed Kelley. So, a few of the topics that we discuss include the hiring of staff on skill versus personality, the importance of profiling your local staff to find gaps in your business, the importance of branding and recognition, integrating Airbnb into your business, and how she used $80 worth of gift vouchers to generate ongoing leads from sales agents, and so much more. Now, one more important point to mention here before we jump into this episode. None of the businesses we've interviewed are sponsors of the Hot Seat, and all are industry influencers and businesses they represent that have given their time to be on the show. Yet another great episode, and Kelley is a great resource of information, so let's get into it and roll it. Hello and welcome everybody. David here with Damien.
Hi David, how are you going? And we've got Kelley here from the Leasing Network, so thank you for joining us, Kelley.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, welcome to the Hot Seat.
Yes.
So we're here today to have a bit of a conversation with you around the industry, just get an understanding of where you've come from within the industry, where you think it is right now and where you think it's going in the future. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay, excellent. So can you give us a bit of a history about your industry experience?
Okay, so I've been around for quite a few years, about 23 years.
Wow.
That's
a nice wow.
I know, it's showing my age. So I stepped into real estate directly from school.
Yes.
First job, reception, and pretty much worked my way up from there.
And did you do it on purpose?
Not at all. In fact, when I was in high school, we went to year 12 back then, and I actually said the only job I did not want to do was in real estate. I had no idea. I wanted to be a nurse or a marine biologist or something, just definitely not real estate, because my mum had a friend who was in real estate who was a bit of a controversial person.
Yes.
And I just did not want to be like her. So I said, I'll do anything but that. And the first job I landed was a receptionist in a real estate agency. Yeah. So yeah, I totally was not heading down this path whatsoever.
Yes.
But yeah, started in reception, did a bit of sales, support, admin sort of thing, worked into property management, stepped away from the industry and did a bit of project management. I also did some legal aid work in a legal firm, and then just got straight back into property management.
Do you prefer real estate or property management? Sales or property management?
I've never touched on sales itself as a selling agent. I've just done sales support.
Yes.
Pretty much off the plan property purchases, right through to engaging in the property manager to take on, that job and find the, partner them with the investor at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why we opened up our own business, because we were referring our clients in the sales investment arm to property managers who were not doing their job properly. And we got jack of hearing about it, and one day said, well, let's just go back into that. Before that, I'd managed teams of property managers, having hundreds of properties, and we just decided to go down that avenue of opening up our own business in 2009 for that reason. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
2009 to now?
So 2009 to now, we had a company called Property Management HQ.
Yes.
We were based in East Maitland predominantly, on Central Coast Hunter.
Yeah.
Then we had a lot of clients who had investment property purchases in Queensland due to land tax thresholds. They purchased outside the state, so we got a few landlords, about 35 I think it was.
Yes.
We would survey them in our Net Promoter Score surveys, and they would say, one of the questions was, do you have another investment property that we're not managing? The answer was yes, in Brisbane. So we rang all of those clients and then said, if we move to Brisbane, will you come on board? And they all just went, yes.
Oh, there you go.
And then we opened a Brisbane office. So just over there in Wollongabba.
Yep, okay.
That then moved to Chelmer Graceville, and then we sold that on to LG Hooker.
Okay.
So we're now no longer in Brisbane at all, and we're also not in the Hunter Valley anymore. We're back to the Central Coast.
Oh, there you go.
And we've just rebranded from Property Management HQ to the Leasing Network. And the reason for that is just to be fresh and new. We're pretty much starting again. So having had all of that experience from 2009 to now and going back to recreate the wheel without the mistakes that we made all those years before. We're pretty much at that point now to start again.
So was it challenging managing properties in Queensland then?
Yeah, that was going to be my question. What would you see the big differences would be?
I think the differences was, first of all, we had to get mutual recognition to have a licence here.
Yes.
Then I obviously appointed a licensee in charge up here, but I was here frequently, pretty much every third week. I'd come up here either, Thursday night work, Thursday, Friday, Saturday sort of thing, or the reverse of that and just tack it onto a weekend. But managing the staff up here with the different legislation was probably the trickiest part.
Yes.
And just relying on that they knew what they were doing here, because sometimes I'd be like, oh, but you have to serve the notice at 8 days. Whereas in New South Wales, you're serving it 15 days for rent arrears and that sort of thing. So that was a little bit tricky, but it was just making sure that they knew what they were doing.
If you were to start again doing what you've just done, what would have you done differently? What would be the top thing you would have done differently?
I think differently would have been the staff that I've had.
Yes.
So I think originally I was hiring staff on their skill sets, whereas I think you really need to hire staff on their personality, because I think you can train skill.
Yes.
For how you want someone to fit into your department. So I was hiring people who knew what they were doing, and it actually worked out in the end that perhaps they didn't know as much as they thought they did, but I assumed that they did.
Yes.
And I've obviously doing some research on them and testing them along the way, and training them. They went to almost every conference possible. But I think you can't train the personality and the communication and how they get along with your clients. And I think it's also important that every client is different, and they were treating every client as the same, and not really finding out about the client first of all and what their needs were.
That's fantastic around the personality, the personality traits. Have you used or have you heard of disc profiling?
Yeah, we've actually done disc.
Yes.
I've also, in 2016, late 2016, we had Agent Dynamics.
Yes.
Julie and Neil do profiling on our teams.
Okay.
I would recommend that to anybody, not giving them a plug or anything.
No, give them a plug.
I really would recommend that to any industry.
Yes.
Any agency, in the industry. What it does, it personality profiles each individual person, just like DISC does, puts them in a little category, so you find out, what sort of personality that person is.
Yes.
And they overlay each personality onto one profile, and so you can see the gaps in the business. So straight away it comes on a chart.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and our chart had one whole area missing.
Yes.
And that one whole area for us was more about being forward, and the BDM section was what was missing in our chart when we looked at it. No one was really interested in cold calling and door knocking, and there was just no personality in our office that fitted that. So that's the person we needed to hire next.
Yes. Who were they again?
Agent Dynamics.
Agent Dynamics.
Yeah.
I'll put a link in the notes.
Yeah, they were really great. So very much the same as DISC.
Yes.
But they actually honed down into strengths, weaknesses, challenges.
Yes.
And then if that person's not right for that role, move them. If they're good in your business, shuffle them into the spot that they like and that they're good at. Yeah. So that's
Fantastic.
one thing I'd do right next time would be staff. But then next time I'm kind of just looking at going outsourcing. So
we disc profile.
Yeah. So I'd be looking at that predominantly for the future of our business.
Yes.
Because we've got the team that we need right now.
Yes.
And I think staff as a business owner is the hardest part of the job.
So what do you see as the biggest challenge right now, 2018 in real estate?
Right now, I think the biggest challenge is for us brand awareness in the market for our business, because we are starting again, and we had a good brand.
Yes.
And a well-known brand. But I think it's sat in a marketplace on the Central Coast, which we are now at. There's another agent called Residential HQ and Commercial HQ.
Okay.
So when Property Management HQ was coming into the picture, it was a bit like, are you associated with them and them and them? So that's why we decided to just go, you know what? No, we're just going to cut that tie altogether and recreate a new brand. So that's the biggest thing for us right now is our biggest challenge is getting our brand out there. And everything's going digital.
Yes.
So it's about videoing and, getting it on social media, on all platforms and just punching it out as best as we can. That would probably be our biggest challenge. And then knowing our market. So we've not been on the Central Coast whilst I've lived there. That's not been our core market.
Yeah.
Our core market's been in the other areas.
Yes.
And so now we've got to get some stats and data research happening as to what areas on the coast have the most available properties for lease. So, for example, Gosford, for example, has 55.35% are rental properties.
Wow.
Whereas, the area that I might want to look at leasing in, Wamberal, for example, or Foresters Beach has something like between 14 and 19%. So I'm not going to market those areas.
No, that's
when
right.
there's 14% properties for lease. So, those are the sort of things we needed to look at, and we highlighted about 10 different suburbs that we're going to start focusing on.
Yeah.
And it's just now about getting brand out into those suburbs and creating, by natural, sources rather than an acquisition to try and create the best brand on the coast now.
Yeah, okay. And what do you think about some of the disruptors? They talk about guys like Airbnb and I guess the biggest difference you see with companies like Airbnb is they remove that face from the business. What do you think about those sort of guys and the disruptors coming in?
I actually don't think they're disruptors.
Yes.
I think we can work with them or maybe work like them.
Yes.
So for a property management business, if we've got, and the Central Coast is a prime example for this, because we're a coastal holiday town, and so and that's why perhaps the entrance and Terrigal have high rental profiles. We're not targeting those for residential leasing, but why not target them and offer an Airbnb service to those clients? So whether it's offering quick in and out holiday stuff going on, or just quick maybe those little extra things, they might want to have, say for example, the client have that management themselves as their own, doing themselves.
Yes.
And we might be able to offer the in and out service for them or something like that.
We have a couple of clients that manage Airbnb listings.
Yeah.
Do you know what sort of fees they charge?
It's a lot more than regular property.
We can't say, can you?
No,
Sorry.
We did have some.
Just put me on the spot.
Yeah, that's right. That's what's the hot seat.
I think over the time, I've been in the holiday market before at Terrigal, and there our management fees was almost double.
Yes.
A bit shy of double of our normal management fee in the holiday market, and you get that. That's everybody wanted to holiday there,
Yes.
and it's doable. So I don't think Airbnb is actually a disruptor as such, and Cubby and all of those things. Look at Purple Bricks, for example. That's coming in now. Purple Bricks in our area that I know of don't sell.
Yes.
Don't lease.
Yep.
They only sell. So why are we not aligning ourselves with Purple Bricks and helping provide rental appraisals and market comparisons to Purple Bricks for their customers to come and lease it?
Yes,
exactly. So I don't feel that they're disruptors at all. I think they're there to give us a bit of challenges and maybe make us rethink how we do things.
And that's what's happened with us, in our business. Our business is constantly changing, and the talk of automation and computers, et cetera, it's evolved. It's evolved over the years, and it's going to continue to evolve. And I think it's a matter of continuing to stay at the forefront and adapting to the change and looking for it as an opportunity. And that's
still.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to keep moving.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think all of those little things that come along, just consider them a little speed hump, so if you like, and just jump on board and just go with it. Because if you don't, you're not going to be in the industry. If you start seeing these other little companies pop up and you're getting nervous about them or have concerns, well then you probably shouldn't be here anyway. You just need to tackle them head on, but maybe work with them.
It's the life of a business owner, isn't it?
It is.
But
yes.
While we're talking about, so how would someone that's coming in the industry differentiate themselves from the competition?
Yeah, I think the best thing you need to do is mystery shop your local competitors.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, set up a fake profile or something. But really, truly, mystery shop, find out what your competitors are doing because you definitely have to do things completely different.
Yes.
You can't go out there now and say, I offer 4 routine inspections a year and my rent arrears are 0 tolerance, because that's just all BS. You need to be able to go to that next level and be able to produce other things that are completely out of the box.
Yes.
You know, so I think by, I don't want to give all my points of difference away. but we're PM only, so for us to be able to offer PM only, we're a specialist expert. We sell that we offer an investor support service for sales businesses. You know, and we offer that to sales only businesses, but there's not a lot of sales only businesses in our zone anymore.
Yes.
You know, so we just get a little bit friendly with the sales agencies that have traditional sales and property management offices. And let me tell you, they're in the same office as their property management teams, and they see what's going on with their department, and they don't always like that.
Yep.
So we can connect with those sales agents with existing property management firms and just kind of, you know, win them over a little bit, offer them things that they're not getting from their own department.
Yes.
And that's how we get in the door. And this is happening. We met someone last week. I won't give any names out. Sales agent has a traditional sales arm. Met them for coffee. Shouted 2 people on the table. $80 worth of gift vouchers each. Off they went to fine dining restaurant and the movies. And we got 4 leads over the table on a piece of paper.
Yeah, fantastic.
So it's happening. You just need to be game enough to go and talk to them and hope that they don't shoot you down.
And I think that's one of the things, isn't it, in the industry is that. So we mentioned before Sarah from Melbourne PM on the hot seat, and she's young, and she won the Innovation Award. Won the Innovation Award recently at was it AREC? Where was it at? Do you remember? I don't remember. Was it LPMA?
Oh,
Might be LPMA.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right.
Innovation Award, and just the stuff that she's doing is, what would you say? My kids don't see an iPad as a piece of technology; they see it as a lifestyle.
That's right.
And I try to separate them away from it as much as I can. Yeah. And you can see some of the younger people coming into the industry as well. They don't see it as technology; they just see it as another tool.
That's every day for them.
Yes.
That's how they've come into this industry. Whereas you've got a lot of the older people that are now having to go, well, I don't want to learn that. But if you don't learn that, you're done.
Yeah.
So, but these guys are coming in the younger generation, and you know, that's what they're doing. I was actually at a training session called How to Lead a Winning Team with a lead agent in October or November last year. And one of the speakers there, and I don't know her name, but she was talking about 75% of our industry in 5 years' time are going to be all the young generation, and we're going to be learning off them.
Yes.
Because that's what's happening.
Average age of our client within the industry is younger, aren't they?
It's reducing.
It's actually, we're going through a transition stage at the moment where a lot of younger people have jumped on board. Younger. In my community, in the middle of nowhere, in the country town, I'm considered young, so that's good. Younger, and then now it's changing because the younger people have come on, and now it's adapting, and a lot of average age of our client is increasing rapidly.
I think that's just what's happening in the industry, though. I think a lot of older property managers aren't in offices with the right culture.
Yes.
And if they're not in an office with the right culture, they're just really, it's not an easy job.
No,
it's a job where you're consistently getting bad feedback, you're consistently getting tenants complain or owners unsatisfied. So if you're not doing your job right, that's what's going to happen. Obviously in our business, we don't hear our phone ring all day because we are out there giving our clients the right advice. The phone doesn't ring in. They already know everything they need to know, as cocky as that might sound. But, I think the property managers that are in there that aren't doing it right, that aren't getting the training, are just burning out straight away.
Yes.
And the other thing I'm finding as well with those is that they're managing big number portfolios. In our office we have a max at 100 properties per property manager. And that's so that they get that customer service. But then you're getting agencies that are doing 200. And I've been asking people here this weekend, how many do you manage? 300. I'm like, geez, are they all in the same apartment complex?
So they balance that. Will they have to lower fees to have to manage more properties? And
I think so. And why do that? It's about not about the quantity of how many you're doing. It's about the quality of the product and the property and the owner. And so when they come in on board, screen them.
Yes.
Do they fit your business? If they don't fit it, don't take it. So we're of that mindset. And if you're finding a lot of maybe sales-based principal owners are just taking on whatever they can get. Yeah. But poor Judy over here is just getting, bombarded with everything. And that's why and I think that's with a lot of the older people in the industry, they just give up because they're not getting the support, or they've got too much on their plate, or that sort of thing. Whereas the young ones are game enough to go, hey, I need help, or yes, I'm a gun, but I'll only do this, because they're just forward thinking, and they don't mind to speak.
The asset value of a property, of a rent roll or a property management business, is it based on the rent that you collect, or is it based on the
annualised income? Okay. Yeah, so the market's different everywhere. Yeah. Like I've heard in Sydney you can get 4.2. Maybe on the coast it's probably about 3.3, maybe thereabouts, per annualised income. But I think it just varies in your marketplace. But yeah, it's based on the annualised income of the management. So each management, like for example, we've just sold a rent roll, just say, and each management was worth around about roughly, $6,000 as a ballpark figure. So obviously do the maths. If you're selling 200 managements, so that's kind of where it works. But obviously, things stagger from area to area. Yeah.
So, shameless plug time. What do you got going on in your business?
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug, yeah. What you'd like to let people know about?
And the team at the Leasing Network, how they go about finding you?
All right.
What's the best way to get in contact with you?
So we are available pretty much all the time. They have the office number, they have our mobile number, they have our email address.
And what are they?
What are they? Oh, fantastic. Good luck.
We can pop them in the notes.
Awesome. So we're the Leasing Network.
Yes.
Central Coast, New South Wales. Our office line is 1800 452 052. My mobile is 0400 454 531. And theleasingnetwork.com.au.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you very much for having a conversation with us, and really appreciate, like we've said to a lot of people, appreciate you being in the industry for the amount of time that you have been. Like we said, there's a lot of innovators coming through, and I can see having a conversation with you, the direction that you're going is fantastic, because you're using the opportunities, and you're always constantly moving and changing and evolving, and I think that's great for the industry.
Yeah,
so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you all again soon.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the episode with Kelley. And before you go, I'd like to ask, if you enjoyed this episode, that you subscribe to our podcast, which you can find if you search for The Hot Seat to wherever you listen to podcasts, and leave a review, as they really, really do count. I also wanted to remind you that The Hot Seat is powered by affordable staff. And if I am 100% honest, we could not put together The Hot Seat without outsourcing every single component. We literally record our footage and audio, send it to the Philippines office, and they do the rest. So thank you to our team, especially Ira. Okay, great. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Hot Seat.